Betrayal. It's not just about the lies, it's about not being chosen. That's why it hurts and cuts so deep. Today we're going to talk about Maria's story of betrayal that happened not only in her relationship with her friends, and it also showed up at work. And the underlying theme here is not being chosen. And let's get right into it. Maria's been in a relationship for over 5 years, and from the beginning of the relationship, she noticed that her boyfriend was never fully invested in her, never fully paid attention to her, never fully gave her a lot of his time. And she kept pining and working extra hard to get him to come around, look at her, pay attention to her, make her feel important, make her feel valuable. And ultimately, she was always left gut-wrenched and on edge and uncomfortable, and always got these intuitive hits that he may be talking to another woman. And ultimately, she got to the point where she was checking his phone and his socials and realized he is chatting up other women. And this really hurt. And they came to me as a couple to start working through this dynamic. And when we started to look at why this was happening, first of all, she was the one that kept seeking his validation from day one. He was never that invested in her. And that was normal and familiar for her. Not that it was her comfort zone, it was what she knew. And when we looked at her background, it's because she was from a family of an absent parent. She wasn't chosen by one of her parents. And therefore, she only knew how to relate to that feeling of not being chosen. Places or experiences or feelings that we go to that we know, it brings us certainty, because it's something that we've had to live out over and over and over again. That's not a comfortable place to be for most of us, because it does include certain pain points like not being chosen, being lied to, being betrayed. So as we started doing a little bit more digging into what was going on with Maria, she kept pursuing her boyfriend because of his inattentive nature. He was never fully invested in her. He was never fully giving her the attention that she was looking for. And that was familiar for her, because she grew up with unattentive parents, and she was naturally going to be drawn to the same experience because she hadn't worked on that core feeling or that core pain. And this didn't just show up in her relationships, it also showed up at work. And at work, she was working really hard to prove herself by doing extra projects, extra work, trying to get her supervisors and her colleagues' approval. And at the end of the day, they would basically take her good ideas and give them to someone else and give the credit to someone else. And she felt very betrayed that way. And then unfortunately, it was also showing up in her social life with her friends, where she would start making some friends, and then they would start making plans without her and would lie to her about those plans and would leave her out. The common factor here is that she wasn't acknowledged, she wasn't chosen, she wasn't validated for being wanted, important, or having any kind of value. And that really goes back to a grief point. So betrayal leaves us feeling really sad, because it makes us feel really unloved and really unwanted. And so the remedy here for Maria was to start being true to herself first. And that required having a lot of uncomfortable conversations and cutting a lot of uncomfortable ties, and start coming out of her familiar zone and doing something different. Now, using the mirror concept, which means that all of our relationships are showing a mirror to ourselves, either our own behavior, the condition of our heart, or the condition of our mind. In this case, the condition of Maria's heart was that she's not lovable and she's not chosen. The condition of her mind is, I have to work extra hard and prove myself in order to have people approve me, or earn love from people, or earn people's loyalty, or earn people's belonging in my life. And then her behavior was just a byproduct of the way she felt about herself and the way she thought about herself, which was to overdo, work extra hard, carry the weight of the relationship, constantly seeking approval from her supervisors and colleagues, as well as choosing friends that always made her feel left out. And once she started doing that deeper work of choosing herself first, which was very hard and very foreign for her, it required her to have those uncomfortable conversations with her friends to say, hey, I don't like that you guys are talking behind my back and making plans behind my back and lying to me about it. This isn't right for me. And to start walking away from those kind of friendships. And when it came to her work environment, she needed to have a conversation with supervisors and advocate for herself to say like, hey, these were my ideas, these were my plans, these were my projects. Why am I not getting credit for them? And this isn't right. And then when it came to her relationship, she had to have a conversation with her boyfriend to say like, hey, if we're gonna move past this betrayal, you gotta put the work in too. Otherwise, this isn't right for me. And when she started doing these things, she showed up a lot more bold at work. She showed up a lot more strong with her friends, and she showed up with a lot more healthy expectations with her boyfriend. And the transformation started happening there because then she chose herself. She was true to herself. She respected herself. And then that started getting reflected back to her in her relationships. She was acknowledged more at work. She found a new group of friends that were a lot more wholesome and honest and chose her. And her boyfriend had the opportunity to work past their issues and start to develop a more honest and integral relationship with each other. Now, if you can relate to any part of this video, if you've ever felt like you haven't been chosen, people betray you, or you've been betrayed, or people have lied to you, let's look at the mirror concept and see how that could apply to you. Do you choose yourself? Are you honest with yourself? And are you true to yourself? And that's just some food for thought and an invitation for you to try out the mirror method in your life. And I'd love to see how it's working for you if you'd like to leave your feedback in the comment section. And I will catch you in the next video. May peace be with you.